I'm going to talk to you to begin with about checking section F of your EHCP when you're thinking about transitions to a new class. It's summertime, lots of you are thinking about how to support your child to manage that big transition to their next class or sometimes next school. So advice, first of all, for those of you that are thinking about how to support your child with a transition to the next stage, whatever that is, it would be to check section F of your EHCP. Section F details all of the provision that your child must be provided with. So sometimes Section F details transition provision. It might say that your child must have additional transition visits, a transition meeting must be undertaken with you and the current class teacher, the new class teacher, to share key information. Whatever is in there must be provided. So it's really important to go back and check that quickly because there's not much time. That needs to be done now, well before the end of term. If it's left and it doesn't happen, transition visits, transition meetings, they're a bit of a waste of time in September when your child is already in their new class or in their new school. Transition provision in section F of your plan that hasn't already been provided for your child, arrange to talk to your school quickly and make arrangements directly with them for it to take place. If your child's moving school, you'll need to coordinate, or someone will need to coordinate across both schools to make sure that happens. If the school stall or delay or refuse, then if it's written into section F of your EHCP, you should consider implementing enforcing your EHCP process. This has to be done with the Local Authority Act, not with the school. Although you'd be expecting the school to provide the provision, if they're refusing or they're not able to, or they're delaying indefinitely, then it's the local authority that you need to go back to and complain to. There's a blog at the link in the slide which will talk to you about exactly how to do that. It also references some clips in our YouTube channel which will help with that as well. So if you're finding that it's not possible to get the provision in section F of your plan in place, our advice is take a look at that blog. But what about if you check section F provision and there isn't specific transition provision? Not uncommon. Probably most of you listening will find that when you check section F, there isn't anything. So if there is no specific provision in section F, you're relying on the school agreeing to provide transition arrangements that are above and beyond what all the other children get. You can't insist that they do, but you certainly can expect, request, and work with them to agree additional transition. This would fall under the school's best endeavours duty. If it's not in section F of the EHC plan, it can't be enforced, but it still comes under the best endeavours duty. It's worth taking a look at that at the blog that's signposted here. It's a blog about what a school should provide for a child with special educational needs. And that law, that best endeavours duty, is relevant to children who haven't got an EHCP, but it is also relevant to children with an EHCP for provision that falls outside of that EHCP. So worth a look. Outside of checking section F, talking to your school to get that arranged if it is in section F, talking to your school to see what you can arrange with them if it isn't in section F. We've got some more top tips and key advice for you. The first one is be proactive. Right, schools are busy places. Right, if you just expect a school to go above and beyond and put additional transition provision into your child that isn't listed in section F of their plan, you might find that they just don't have the time or the capacity to do that. But there are things that you can do. So think, what can you do to help? If, say, for example, it says your child will get additional visits to their new classroom and to meet their new teacher, as well as expecting the school to provide some of those within the school day, offer to do some at home time as well. I'm sure that the school will be happy to arrange for you to just pop in at home time after a teacher's dismissed class to go to the new class, just say hi to the teacher, ask your child to show you around, spend a bit of time there. It gives you not only an opportunity to say hi to the teacher and start to build a relationship, to see the classroom, but also something to really talk to your child about over the summer. You've shared that experience. You've seen the classroom too. You can talk about, how lovely the displays were, or it's great that your seat's going to be wherever it is if the teacher's already decided those things. But it's just a talking point as well, but it also provides that extra transition visit for your child. If you know that a social story would be really helpful for your child, and that ideally that would have photos of the new classroom in it, where they'd hang their coats, what toilet they'd use, what their classroom looks like, what their teacher looks like, and photos would be the best way to do that, then again, talk to the SENCO. If they're struggling to find time, offer to go in outside of the school day, obviously, and you can do it with your child and make it into another shared activity. Go and take the photos yourself. Go home, make the social story yourself, send it into school so school can be doing it with your child, you can be doing it with your child. You'll have lots of skills and lots of resources that you can support the school by helping to get in place as well. If your child's moving to a new school, now is a perfect time to be thinking about ways that you can perhaps do extra visits with your child. Most schools are having sports days round about now. I know, I've got 2 schools nearby me and I'm hearing them. And lots of special schools particularly, and in fact lots of mainstream schools, invite parents to sports days. If you know somebody who has a child who's already at your child's new school, ask them if they've got a sports day coming up. If they have, ask them if they'll take you along as their +1 invite. You can go, have a look around the school as well, get the feel for the school, meet some of the other parents, see how the school works. It might even be possible to take your child out of school for that afternoon. The school may well agree to that as an additional transition visit. They can come with you too, cheer on your friend's child at sports day, but also it gives them that opportunity to have an extra transition visit to their new school. Schools are having open days round about now. Sarah's posting loads of them in the group, but have a look and see if local schools are having open days. If the school your child is going to in September is having an open day, there's nothing to stop you and your child going along to that open day just because you've already got a place at the school and this open day is predominantly for new children. That's fine. Book in, turn up. It's an extra transition visit to your new school for your child. Lots of other things you can be thinking about as well, particularly around children having new schools. You can just find yourself driving by it in the summer. Even if it's a bit out the way, you can just find yourself that way and be like, oh, look, we're just passing, give it a wave. It just again familiarizes your child with that school. They'd be pointing out key things on the way. Well, look, there's a park right near your new school. Maybe we'll be able to stop there once in a while and have a little play on the way home in the evening. There's all kinds of ways that you could just normalise. The more normal and routine and ordinary and familiar you can make that new school over the summer, the better. I must point out our Schools Out for Summer blog. It's literally got hundreds of ideas in it, not just to support transition into the summer holidays, transition back to school, but also hundreds of tips and ideas around keeping your summer holiday busy and stress-free as possible. You can find that in the link again that's on the slide. So do take a look there. We're going to move on to question and answers now, but just before we do, a few more things to point out to you. If you're here thinking that you might want to take advantage of some of the bespoke work that we do, there's an email address there to contact for bespoke work inquiries. If you'd like to find out more about our blogs in our blog library, we've got an extensive blog library. Please follow the link there under the blog library. And also, you may be aware that we've got a massive YouTube channel, actually. It's got hundreds of YouTube clips in it, all about special educational needs and EHCP processes. So take a look in our YouTube channel and see what might be of interest in there. The search function in the YouTube is really good. You just put in a keyword that you're looking for. So for this one, I'd perhaps put in transitions, and the search in there will bring up the clips that are relevant or useful to you. So please take a look in those. We're going to stop recording for those of you who are listening to the recorded version, but we do drop-ins, free drop-ins every 2 weeks. One of them will be on a theme like this one, where we're answering questions about transitions, and the alternate weeks, the other one will be a general questions and answer session. So if you would like to join one of our question and answer sessions, our drop-in sessions in the future, you need to sign up for our newsletter, because the tickets for it come out via our newsletter sign up. So post a link in the Facebook group if you're not sure how to sign up for the newsletter.